In this video, we'll explain every major death in one piece, starting with Gol D. Roger. We'll be starting with Roger since he's the reason behind the great era of pirates. Gol D. Roger was the man who reached Laugh Tale, discovered the One Piece, and became known as the Pirate King. His strength, crew, and will allowed him to conquer the Grand Line. But by the time the world finally captured him, Roger was already dying from an unknown illness. Instead of hiding, he made a decision that would change history forever. He turned himself into the Marines. His execution took place in Logtown, the town where he was born. Crowds gathered to watch the Pirate King's final moments. Right before he died, Roger smiled and revealed that his treasure was real. The One Piece existed, and he had left it all in one place. With that single statement, the world exploded into chaos. Pirates from every sea set sail to find it. That moment created the era the entire story takes place in. Roger did not just die that day, he lit a fire under the entire world. Portgas D. Ace. Ace's death is the moment One Piece stopped being just adventure and became pain. Ace was the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, the son of Gol D. Roger and Luffy's older brother. After being captured by Blackbeard, he was sentenced to execution at Marineford. The entire war happens because of him. Whitebeard pulls up with an army. The Marines prepare for chaos. Luffy breaks into the world's most secure prison just to save him. And somehow, against all odds, they actually free him. For a few seconds, it feels like victory, and then Akainu opens his mouth. Ace turns back to defend Whitebeard's honor, and in that one decision, everything changes. Akainu's magma fist goes straight through Ace's chest while he protects Luffy. The Vivre card burns away in Luffy's hands. I remember watching that scene thinking, no way they actually do this. But they did. Ace smiles before he dies, thanking everyone for loving him. His death shatters Luffy completely and reshapes the world. This was not just a character death. Edward Newgate. Whitebeard does not die quietly. He dies standing. During the Marineford War, even while sick and stabbed from betrayal, he dominates the battlefield. The man literally tilts the ocean. He fights admirals, warlords, and an entire army without backing down. After Ace dies, Whitebeard's rage becomes terrifying. He goes after Blackbeard with pure fury. Even with half his face burned off and countless wounds across his body, he keeps fighting. When Blackbeard and his crew finally bring him down, Whitebeard is still standing upright. Not a single scar on his back. That detail matters. It means he never ran. His final words confirm that the One Piece is real, throwing the world into a new pirate era. I still get chills when I think about that scene. He was not just strong, he was a father figure to hundreds of pirates. His death creates a massive power vacuum and pushes the world into chaos. Whitebeard's era ends, and suddenly everything feels unstable. He goes out like a legend should, loud, proud, and unbreakable. Kozuki Oden. Oden's death feels like a myth turned into tragedy. Long before the current timeline, Oden was the daimyo of Kuri and Wano, and one of the few people strong enough to scar Kaido. He sailed with both Whitebeard and Gol D. Roger, which already sounds unfair. When he returns to Wano, he tries to save his country from Orochi and Kaido. But through deception and political games, he is captured. The execution method is brutal. Oden is boiled alive in oil, and somehow he survives for an hour while holding his 9 retainers above his head so they do not burn. I'm not even exaggerating. The man turns his own execution into a strength competition. In his final moments, he smiles and tells his followers to open Wano's borders. Then he is shot, ending one of the most powerful flashbacks in the series. Oden's death explains why the samurai fight with such loyalty. He was not perfect, but he was fearless. And honestly, standing in boiling oil for your people is next-level dedication. Going Merry. Yes, this is a ship, and yes, it counts. If you did not feel something when the Going Merry died, I question your emotional range. The Merry carried the straw hats from East Blue to Eni's lobby. It survived storms, battles, and impossible situations. But by Water 7, the ship was beyond repair. When it shows up one last time to save the crew during the Buster call, it feels like a miracle. Later, the crew sets it on fire and says goodbye. And then the Merry speaks. It apologizes for not being able to carry them further. That scene hurts in a different way. It is quiet and personal. No giant war, no dramatic villain speech, just friends losing a companion. I did not expect to get emotional over wood and sails, but here we are. The Merry represents the crew's early journey and innocence. Saying goodbye to it means growing up. Even now, that farewell hits harder than some human deaths. Donquixote Rosinante, as known as Corazon. His death is one of the most tragic backstories in the series. Rosinante was Doflamingo's younger brother and a secret marine working undercover. He pretends to be cold and cruel, but in reality, he cares deeply for Law. When Law is dying from a terminal illness, Corazon steals the Ope no Mi to save him. He fights against his own brother's crew just to give Law a chance at life. Eventually, Doflamingo discovers the betrayal. Corazon is shot multiple times. Even while dying, he uses his devil fruit power to create a silent field so Law's crying cannot be heard. That detail always gets me. He dies smiling, knowing Law will live. Corazon never got to see the future he fought for. His death shapes Law's entire character. Every time Law makes a move against Doflamingo, you can feel that history behind it. Corazon was not the strongest fighter, but he might have had one of the biggest hearts. Bellemere. Bellemere's death is simple but devastating. She was a former marine who adopted Nami and Nojiko as her daughters. When Arlong takes over Kokoyashi village, he demands payment for every human life. Bellemere does not have enough money to pay for all three of them. She lies at first, but when Arlong threatens the girls, she proudly declares that they are her daughters. That confession costs her life. Arlong shoots her in front of them. There is no epic battle, no rescue, just a mother choosing love over survival. I think what makes this death hurt is how real it feels. Bellemere was not a pirate legend or a world figure. She was just a mom trying her best. Her death explains Nami's hatred for pirates and her desperation to save her village. Every time Nami breaks down in Arlong Park, you remember this moment. It is quiet, grounded, and painfully human. Dr. Hiraluk. Dr. Hiraluk's death is strange, loud, and oddly beautiful. He was not a real doctor in the traditional sense, but he believed in miracles. He takes in Chopper when everyone else rejects him. Even after being poisoned, Hiraluk continues trying to cure Drum Island's sick heart. When he learns that Wapol plans to execute him, he interrupts the doctor's meeting with one last speech about dreams and cherry blossoms. Then he blows himself up before they can kill him. Yes, he literally explodes, but he dies smiling, saying that when do people truly die? It is not when they are shot or poisoned. It is when they are forgotten. That line sticks with me. Hiraluk's dream later inspires the pink cherry blossoms over Drum Island. His death gives Chopper purpose and belief. It is dramatic and almost theatrical, but somehow it works perfectly. Only one piece can make an explosion feel emotional. Pedro. Pedro's death in Whole Cake Island is one of the more recent major losses. He is a mink warrior who once sailed with Gol D. After losing years of his lifespan to Big Mom, Pedro believes his purpose is to help bring the dawn of the world. During the escape from Whole Cake Island, the Straw Hats are cornered. There is no way out. Pedro makes a decision quickly. He straps explosives to himself and blows up part of Big Mom's fleet, clearing the path. His final words focus on Luffy being the one who will lead the world into a new era. What hits me is how calm he is. No long speech, no dramatic hesitation, just acceptance. Pedro knew his time was limited, and he chose how to spend it. His sacrifice allows the crew to survive. It also reminds us that the journey to the One Piece is not free. People pay for it. Sometimes, with everything. Nefertari Cobra. Nefertari Cobra's death marks a turning point in the final saga. As the ruler of Alabasta, he questions the world government about the Void Century during the Reverie. That curiosity costs him everything. Inside Pangaea Castle, he encounters the mysterious figure Imu. What follows is political horror. Cobra is attacked, and the truth about the hidden ruler of the world begins to surface. Sabo is blamed for the murder, but the reality is much darker. Cobra dies trying to protect his daughter Vivi and uncover the truth. Unlike battlefield deaths, this one feels secret and cold. It shows that even kings are powerless against the shadow government. When I think about Cobra, I remember how proud he was of Vivi. His death is not about strength. It is about courage in the face of forbidden knowledge. And in One Piece, chasing the truth is often the most dangerous thing you can do.